everyone. I'm back to talk about the second half of this week's work. Remember that you can always find out what the latest work is by going down to under classwork, online learning introduction. It has all of Miss Punsley's online class information. So it has everything you need, including my email, office hours, how to schedule a meeting, how to join a live class, and the schedule for that, and also this week's assignments. So we talked in the last video about the bell ringer, about the Ed puzzle video, and about your JCPS backpack due Friday. And remember that under the stream you can find how to record your backpack and turn it in, right? And you can also go straight there by going to JCPS backpack under classwork, right? This one just explains some stuff, but you actually want to turn in your backpack right here, right? Your JCPS backpack defense template, and upload your video of you talking over your slides. So those are probably one of the most important things you need to do by Friday. So going back to this week's lessons, we're going to be doing lesson 11 and 12 on Peardeck. Make sure that you do your Ed puzzle video first on SMART goals, because lesson 12 is about goals that you set for yourself. So when you do the Ed puzzle video, you're going to watch it and answer some questions as you go along, and that's going to help you out with lesson 12. So do that first. Right? So let's go ahead and sign in as a student. Right. And so you should get a screen that looks something like this. You're going to pick your username to sign in, and then it's going to come up on this screen. And so I'm going to talk you through all the different parts of the lesson that you have to do this week. Right, it's always going to ask you how you're feeling first, and then it's going to get you into the lesson. So there's only 8 slides on here. Some of them are just ones that you're listening to, and some are ones where you have to read, and then other ones are ones where you have to do some work. So you can always click this button down here in the corner for it to read to you. So that can be really helpful. And it'll like put all the words out there, and then I'll play them for you as you're doing. It's a lot like the kind of reader that you have in Flipgrid. So let's see it in action. And again, you can always change the settings of that, how fast you want to read. So slower is the turtle, faster is the rabbit, right? Change how big it is, right? All of that good stuff to help you understand if you're not just listening to me read it to you. So this is habit 2, begin with the end in mind. We've been working on that for a while, and this is lesson 11, make your mark. So now you guys don't have your orange journals anymore, but if you did, it would be page 28. And I'm going to be putting the journal pages on Peardeck so you can type into them. So we're going to be talking about a personal mission statement, right? So how is ordinary things, normal things, different from extraordinary things, right? Special sorts of things. We talk about what a legacy is, right? So you're thinking about your whole life and what's important in life, and then what writing some sort of mission that we have, setting some sort of like lifetime goal, right? How it can make our life special. So this says the definition of ordinary, right? It's something that's normal. Definition of extraordinary, right? You see the word extra, more than ordinary, all right? Remarkable, great, right? So how do we go from being normal to great? So it says habit 2, begin with the end in mind. It encourages us to make our lives extraordinary, right? Great. Since your destiny is yet to be determined, why not make it extraordinary and leave a lasting legacy? A personal mission statement helps us to be extraordinary. A personal mission statement acts as a guide for who we want to be and what is important to us. It's like our own personal motto. So here is a picture to show the difference between ordinary and extraordinary, right? So this girl is normal, but if she were a superhero, she would be great, right? See it down here. It says it is possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary, right? So we're thinking about the difference between things that are normal and regular, like the girl on the left, versus things that are really amazing or great beyond things that are just normal, like the girl on the right. So you're going to come up with your own example, right? Draw an example of something that's ordinary, regular, you see it every single day, and then you're going to draw something extraordinary, something totally different and special and great, right? What would that be? So you're going to draw one example or write one example of each one. You got some text down here to write, and then a bunch of colors to choose from. Next, we're going to talk a bit about holidays, right? So, what makes someone so special that they make a holiday about them? So, you see some three pretty special people that you've probably learned about through history class, right? So, we know George Washington, he has President's Day named after him because of his work as a general fighting the British, right? So, that's one reason we remember him. We remember Abraham Lincoln, also part of President's Day, because he wrote the important law to free the slaves in the South. And we have Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which we celebrated a few months ago, because Martin Luther King Jr. Did all of that important stuff for civil rights so that Black and white people in America could have lives that were more fair and more equal. So think about those holidays as we go on to the next slide. So this one's asking about you. So those three men have holidays named after them, right? There's a whole day. Sometimes we get that day off, sometimes we don't. But there's a whole day where we're just supposed to remember them, right? So what if there was a holiday named after you? What special thing would you have done? Would you have won a war? Would you have helped people? We've been talking in our other class about helping slaves, right? Because there's still slaves today. So what is it that you would do that'd be so good that they would want to come with a holiday for you? So the first one is, what's the name of the holiday? Could be like Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so it could be named after you. Could be like President's Day, like named after like the job that you had, right? Or what you were doing that was so great. Right, so what's the name of the holiday? That's number one. Number two, why did they choose you? What did you do that was so great to help other people or to do good for the world? And then finally, what is the one sentence everyone is using to describe you? So, how do people talk about you when you're famous in this situation? So, you're going to write your answers over here on the right and turn them in. I'll be able to see those on my end. And then finally, you're going to draw your future, right? So all of this is to think, wow, like someday if I achieve all my goals and do all the great things that I think I could do, right, what would that look like? So whatever it was that made you famous and great, and changed the world, that's what you would draw here. If you're really stuck on drawing, because some of these things are kind of tricky, you can write down here as well. But that's all you got to do for lesson number 12. Sorry, lesson number 11. Now we're going to get on to lesson number 12. So, um, lesson number 11, we talked about making a big difference. Right, lesson number 12 is setting goals. So, as you think about your future and the ways in which you want to change the world or make things a better place, or all the good things that you want to do in your life, right? We want to think about, well, how do we get there? So lesson 12 is called Keep It Real. So we're going to be talking about goal setting. We're going to talk about our heroes today and why they can be kind of a problem, like looking up to them. And then why doing our own best is so important, just like our frog that we talked about earlier, who's always trying our best and our bell ringer. And then finally, how goals help you become a better person. So this one is called Koji's story. Koji's story goes like this. I followed my favorite athlete through all his games, press conferences, and social media posts since I was little. I wanted to be just like him. Then he got caught with drugs, fined, and put on probation. He didn't stop, and eventually the team let him go. What a waste! We often allow famous people to be our heroes because we want to be like them: strong, beautiful, wealthy, powerful. Instead, we should practice habit to begin with the end in mind and strive to be our own personal best. Right? So in this story, Koji's talking about someone else he saw who he wanted to be just like them, right? And then it turned out that person wasn't so great. I'm sure that's happened to you. That happens to me sometimes too. There's someone I think is really great, and I find out more about them, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to be like that person at all. So here's an example that I saw in a tweet that I thought was funny, right? So this is called Milkshake Duck, right? The whole internet loves Milkshake Duck, a lovely duck that drinks milkshakes. So we get this kind of picture, like an Instagram picture of this cute duck doing this cute thing, and everyone loves Milkshake Duck and thinks he's great. And then it says 5 seconds later, we regret to inform you that the duck is racist. So we like this picture that the duck presents of itself on Instagram, right? But you can see down here, we learned about this when we talked about World War II and the Nazis. Turns out this duck was a Nazi. So we don't see that in the pictures, we don't see that on camera, but in his private life, he might not be as good as he shows himself to be, right? So we have to be really careful about who we look up to. And instead of worrying what other people are doing, make sure that we're the best person that we can be. So it says, keep it real. Choose your own direction. It is better not to be liked for what you are than to be liked for what you're not. So it's talking about how if you have to be fake, right, to make people like you, it's not really worth it, right? It's better to have a few people like you because they really, really like who you are instead of like pretending on Instagram or whatever app that you're some other person and getting all those likes, right? What we care about is our real friends, not our fake friends. So our next slide says, do you agree or disagree with that? Right, so you're going to move this dot to show that you either agree, disagree, maybe you're somewhere in the middle. How do you feel, right, about that? Do you think, yes, we should care what our real friends think and be real for them? Or do you disagree and you think, nah, fake friends are fine. It's okay, I can be someone else or pretend to be someone else. So it's up to you whether you agree or disagree. So thinking about being our real self and how important that is, that gets us to some of our life goals. So here's a whole bunch of different type of life goals that someone could have, right? So this person is talking about their job and they want to manage a big company, right? They want to have a big company of their own and they want to write a book. That's for their job that they want to do, right? Over here, some other things they want to do is they want to uh, be trilingual. That means speaking 3 languages. So a lot of you are already bilingual. You speak 2 languages. So this person wants to have at least 3 languages. And they also want to see the world. So this person wants to travel and go to many different countries. Here's some more goals this person has. They have some money goals. So they don't want any debt. They don't want to owe any money to anybody, no money on their credit cards or loans or anything, no money they owe to the bank. They want to be totally even with everyone. And they also want to own their own house and car, right? So those are some goals they want to save up for that are important to them. This person has some family goals and social goals. So this person wants to get married, have good kids, and also have a good relationship with their parents. So that's important to this person in their life. Everyone's life is different. It's okay if your goals are different from these goals. And then finally, this person wants to be physically fit, right? So maybe they need to be strong and work out. They want to be patient, right? So a caring, loving person. They want to be organized and clean. And for this person, also religion is very important to them. So these are some goal examples. obviously your goals could be very different, right? So think and look at this list and think about which ones do you agree with, which ones don't you agree with, right? What are some of the goals that you have? So this says, what goal do you have for yourself that will help you be your personal best? So, you could go back and imagine yourself, at age like 50 or 60, where you have your own house and a car and married and kids, and you've written a book and you have a company and you've traveled all around the world and you're in really good shape and you have good relationship with your parents and you have your religion and your house is very clean or whatever it is that you want, right? That's one person's goal in pictures. But like imagine yourself, when you're older or whatever age, 50 or 60, what's that goal that will help you be the best you that you can be? Everyone's going to be different. Not everyone has to have that same list that we just saw, right? So you're going to write your goal down here. Last thing, draw your goal. So what was the goal that you picked? And let's draw a picture of you making that goal, because us being able to picture it and understand it, that's going to help us out. So that's all you got to do for lessons 11 and 12 this week, right? You're going to do that through Pear Deck, finish all the slides, and then you can go in and turn it in. Make sure you finish it before you turn it in, because some people last week didn't even do it. Tried to hit that turn in button, right? So that's all that you need to do. You know where to find me if you need me. There are all kinds of good ways to contact me, right, on here. Just let me know if you need anything at all. And until next time, bye.